My goal with my final look at V4 was to hit level 70 and finish chapter 7. That was the most recent content at the time, until last night that is, when they released another brand new selection of content that I am 100% definitely not equipped for, chapter 8. You gotta give credit to the devs behind V4. They are consistent in their updates, and they update their game pretty frequently. They just finished adding in the new Archer class last month, which admittedly was a solid class to level, and mine turned out really cute. Now, talking about how cute my character looked, I have a question for all of you. Which class do you think looks the best out of all the classes that are available? Let me know down in the comments below. I am genuinely curious. Right, before I jump into my journey to endgame though, I do want to note that this video is sponsored by V4. If you guys want to download and play the game, the new Archer class, or the new content, go ahead and click that link in the description in the pinned comment below. Not only will it take you directly to the game, but it will be a huge help to the channel. So, my journey to what I perceived at the time was the end game was definitely an interesting one. Mrs. Sticks and I have been slowly grinding through this game for a month and a half now, maybe 2 months by this point, on both PC and on our phones. We made sure to log in every single day so we could obtain daily and weekly items from the store, so we could redeem our login rewards, you know the deal. This allowed us to get quite a ways ahead of other players that rushed through content, as by chapter 7, which is where I'm up to right now, I was already over 260,000 CP, significantly over the recommended CP value, but this made it easier for me to push through content. And while the grind was definitely real, it was. Having to, at times, murder 3-4 different sets of 60+ enemies totaling hundreds of monsters to make it to the next part of the episode, it wasn't without its danger. As an example here, I was grinding through chapter 7, episode 5, I think. There I was, grinding through one of the quests, minding my own business, when out of nowhere, this guy randomly came up and started attacking me. I was tabbed out at the time, letting the game grind for me, but I noticed my screen was violently flashing red, so I quickly tabbed back into the game and made an active effort to attempt to fend him off. But it was moments like this that made certain that I was always at my PC whenever I was out in the world grinding. I have been killed by other players a multitude of times while out in the world, and that sense of danger of other players potentially attacking you because they want your spawn is always present. Now, before I do go any further, I want to note that we're now capable of purchasing outfits for our characters. I saw that there were 2 available currently, the Banquet Luminary and the Triumphant Officer, and you guys know which one I went for. This was too good to pass up. And the fact that it gave a boost to the XP and my max bag capacity was refreshing. Outfits are important to Mrs. Sticks, probably the most important part of every MMO. No, actually, the most important part of every game. So being able to, I guess you could say, purtify herself is of the utmost importance. Me? I just like the view. There is quite a bit to learn on the way to level 70 in the final chapter. On the one hand, you should always be keeping an eye on your stats. Each zone has recommended CP that will make engaging enemies within it decidedly more difficult if you're not careful. Then there's imprinting. You have a selection of different demon stones that you can upgrade and equip stones into this to upgrade your CP and obtain beneficial stats. You have a wide selection of both active combat skills and passive skills. As you can tell, there are some skills that I haven't even unlocked yet. These are something that take time and motivation to unlock fully. Talents are essentially an additive to your statistics and abilities. I'd reset my talents to showcase the various talents you can choose and how they alter either your base stats or how your abilities function. You have the potential tab that allows you to sacrifice gear or items to improve one of 4 different floating glowy things that raise your base stats as well. I honestly, I never knew what these were actually called. Mrs. Sticks and I just call them the little floating jar things. There's gear enhancement in the game. You can upgrade your gear using enhancement scrolls. You can unlock additional stats by using tomes and even abilities. Soul stones are probably one of the most important ways of gaining CP in the game. Every stone starts off incredibly weak, but the further you upgrade them, the more powerful they become. In the end, I think the majority of my CP actually came exclusively from them. Collecting mounts increases your overall CP and goes a ways to provide additional boosts to your character like attack speed, defense, and parry. You're also capable of combining mounts together to attempt to obtain even more powerful creatures. The same applies to pets, however, in their case, they don't provide as many beneficial stats. You can still combine them together though. And then companions are the third and final collectible form of increasing your CP and provide much what mounts and pets do. You can combine them as well, but they're also capable of being sent out on various types of missions with some pretty sweet rewards upon their return. There are gathering and crafting professions in game, but I mean, if you know me, you know that I typically tend to avoid these in games. I prefer to pay people to craft my stuff for me. I'm that type of guy. As you continue to fight monsters out within the world, world, you'll find that you can research the enemies in question and obtain CP the more you eliminate. Then there's the Abyss, which is pretty much where I went to farm all of my soul shards to upgrade my soul stones. Well, that and there's tons of juicy gold to be had. Admittedly, while I did do the demon evasions a couple times, that was more something that Mrs. Styx did frequently. We fought a couple boss monsters as well, but always found ourselves logging in too late to really chase them down. There's Lunatra, which is a large-scale PvPvE game mode. A lot goes on in there. It is a scary place. And if you make use of the item sets feature, you'll find yourself increasing in CP pretty steadily. I made use of every single feature I listed above to get to the point I'm at now, which is almost 270,000 CP. The journey was long, the grind was more difficult than I'd ever imagined it to be, but I found it to be plenty rewarding in the end. Progressing through chapter 7 was made substantially easier being at the CP we were at, and I don't think that would have been possible at the CP we were at when we started chapter 7, which was, I think, maybe like 110, 120,000 CP. Like, I died repeatedly. It was not a very flattering state for me to be in. And if you guys know me, I never die in games. So this was surprising. V4 is a long game. It's not easy to get through, but it shouldn't be. Yes, I made it to level 71-ish by the time I finished and decided to create my final look on the game. And yes, I will definitely continue playing after this to try and clear chapter 8 if I can. I've invested so much time into this already. What's a little bit more, right? Grinding through all of these unique zones, all of this story, learning all of these new features, and being a part of each update as they came out was definitely an experience. It was really fun watching my class turn into such a powerhouse, and I'm glad I chose the class that I did, but I still regret not going mage. Now, if you want to see one more video after this of my experience going through chapter 8, let me know down in the comments below, and I will definitely consider it. Again, if you're interested in trying V4 out, you can go ahead and click that link in the description or the pinned comment below to be taken right to the game. But this is my opinion, my impressions of the game based off of how far I've made it through currently. What do you guys think? Have you played it? Does it still look like something you might be interested in? Let me know down in the comments below and let's talk about it. Anyway, guys, that is it for me. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys next time.
Someday soon, I'm gonna make it.